Hi, I'm Mike Moyer. I'm Executive Director of the National Wrestling Coaches Association, and on behalf of the Board of Directors and our President, Coach Brian Smith at University of Missouri, we're very excited to announce a brand new NCAA Division I dual meet championship format for this year. The event's going to be titled the NWCA Cliff Keen National Duels, presented by the Marine Corps and Hippocrates. This event this year is going to feature 22 of the top 24 Division I wrestling teams in the country, and they're going to qualify through one of four regionals. One regional will be at Oklahoma State, one will be at Iowa State, one will be at Rutgers, and one will be at Cornell. So there'll be 6 teams in each region, and out of each region, one team will advance to a Final Four-like concept. This is something that can bring significant visibility to our sport. We envision it being a second signature event, something that eventually grows in magnitude to something like the NCAA Division I championships that currently exist today. One of the things that's very important to know about the new Division I National Dual Meet concept is that we're also going to have a multi-divisional National Dual Meet Championship for the other collegiate divisions. There'll be NCAA Division II, Division III, NAIA, Junior College, and Women. This year that event's going to be January 7th and 8th in Springfield, Illinois. And the idea is to keep these other collegiate divisions together while we test this new Division I concept. The idea is, as we iron out the wrinkles of the Division I concept, we can then apply the same model in a modified way to these other collegiate divisions, where we're essentially doing the same thing with all these other collegiate divisions at some point down the road. We just didn't want to try to take this on, tackle this for 5 or 6 collegiate divisions all at one time. So we're thrilled that the other collegiate divisions are willing to stay together and stay patient as we get this Division I concept a little bit further developed. There's going to be a lot of benefits to the sport of wrestling as a result of the NWCA Cliff Keen National Duels presented by the Marine Corps and Hippocrates. And by the way, over the next few months, you're going to hear to us refer to this event as Mat Mayhem, because we are certain that there's going to be extraordinary spectator and media excitement that's generated around this event. When you think of every mainstream spectator sport in America, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, they all really have one thing in common, and that is the outcome of every regular season game has a lot of meaning because it determines a standing, which ultimately determines advancement into some type of a postseason competition. Currently in wrestling, our entire infrastructure is designed to support an individual tournament at the end of the year. So the outcome of regular season dual meets on most campuses across the country has very little meaning. And consequently, it's really keeping our spectator base at the institutional level very low. For example, we only have about 5 Division I wrestling programs that have an average spectator base of 5,000 or more. And we only have about 11 Division I programs that have an average spectator base of 1,000 or more. And we simply need to increase and grow our spectator base on every college campus across the country. So this year only, the teams have been pre-selected to participate. The 24 teams have been pre-selected to go to one of these 4 regionals. But in the future and subsequent years, teams will qualify one of 2 ways. They'll either have to win the dual meet championship of their conference, or they'll have to be one of 14 wild cards. And wild card will be determined by the overall strength of their particular team in that specific year. So we see just a fantastic opportunity to grow the spectator interest in our sport, to grow the media interest in our sport, because after every regular season dual meet, people will wake up in the morning and it will matter how their team did, because it's going to move them towards advancement to one of these regionals. For the first time through, we've gotten 22 of the top 24 Division I college wrestling teams to commit, and it really speaks volumes of the level of commitment from our top college coaches as a result to growing and strengthening our sport. It's not easy to get 22 coaches to agree to anything, and the way they've rallied around this event really speaks very high of what they're all about, what their programs are all about, and potentially what this event can become. So as we're developing this Mat Mayhem concept, it wouldn't be possible without two things. One is the commitment from the coaches, and the other is the extraordinary support we're getting from the NCAA. One of the biggest ways the NCAA has helped us is they've provided a competition date waiver for the event. So it allows the participating teams to support the event without compromising their existing schedules. From the NWCA standpoint, we're excited to announce that we've actually gotten a national television agreement in place with some significant sponsors. We have Cliff Keen is our title sponsor. We have the Marine Corps and Hibiclins as our presenting sponsors. So it's another great way to bring mainstream corporations into the sport of wrestling. And ultimately, if this event develops the way we believe it's going to develop, we'd really like the NCAA to put their name on it. The only way we have a chance of getting that to happen is if we can demonstrate a huge spectator base and a terrific media following of it. So this first year, there's a lot at stake, and we're very optimistic that in addition to the coaches supporting it, the spectators will also. There's really a lot of reasons why the spectators really need to support this Mat Mayhem concept. You know, when you look at the state of Division I intercollegiate athletics right now, we know that the business model out there is broken. And we know there's more fiscal pressures on Division I athletic departments across the country. And the future of wrestling at the Division I level is really tied to our ability to grow the spectator base at the institutional level on every campus across the country. You know, at the very least, we have to be able to demonstrate to key decision-making people on college campuses that there's an outpouring of community support and even regional support for each intercollegiate wrestling program across the country. So by making the outcome of every regular season dual meet have a lot more meaning, we believe that the result of that will be growing the spectator base, and this is where we need the spectators to show up. We need you to show up during the regular season competitions, and that enthusiasm that's generated during the regular season will carry over into these regionals and into the Final Four concept. And quite frankly, it'll even carry over into the NCAA Division I championships. We need to grow the spectator base. We're thrilled that we sold over the wrestling community sold over 105,000 tickets for the 2011 NCAA championships in Philadelphia last year. But for the most part, it's pretty much the same 16 or 17,000 people that go to the individual tournament every year. This national dual meet concept, this Mat Mayhem, gives us an opportunity to develop a second signature event. And in a lot of ways, it's almost 5 events because you have 4 individual regionals where we could get 10 to 12,000 people eventually at each regional, and then we could do it again for the Final Four championship round. So at the end of the day, we can take one signature event and make it into 5 additional signature events. So the bottom line is 22 of our top 24 teams will be at the national duels. We need our spectator base to really support it throughout the country.